and Wear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
All right, AEW Dynamite off the air. Of course, I'm Sean Stanley here in the Miami Gardens OK Coin Studios, and it is time for the Squared Circle Digest. Talking some wrestling. AEW Dynamite had some good parts, some bad parts. I thought you have a coffin match as your main event on free TV. I thought it was I didn't think it was as good as what I've seen Darby Allin do. Nothing against Andrade El Idolo, but that match just did not hook me at all. There were some announcements made. We'll get into that in a little bit. Adam Cole was a feature on this. The what are they calling themselves? The Undisputed Elite. You saw Jay White, the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW. Man, I wish I could get the words out tonight. NJPW and AEW announce a pay-per-view set for June 26th. It's going to be called The Forbidden Door. You're going to see some of the New Japan talent now, I guess, on AEW TV. Friday on Rampage will be Adam Cole taking on Ishii to advance in the Owen Hart men's side of the tournament. It's interesting, again, this Forbidden Door thing with Tony Khan not going away. But I don't know that it's going to bring eyes to the product. And this is where I think right now some of the problem with Tony Khan is Steve said, "What's up, Sean? Didn't see any matches tonight. Too busy watching my Celtics. Gut out another win over those stinking Nets. Get those Nets out of here. Get those Nets out of here." Congratulations, Steve, on that. The Celtics, they're showing, Tatum and Brown, and them are showing what I think a lot of people expected them to show, I guess. And now they've got to keep it up. They've got to go to Brooklyn, put that foot on the throat, like what the Heat need to do with the Hawks, and move on to the second round. I would love to see the Nets get eliminated. Would love it. Love it, love it, love it. Not that I like seeing the Celtics, and I'm sorry, Steve, I know you're a Celtics fan, but not that I like seeing the Celtics advance, but, it's better than the Nets, the stinking Nets. But going back to the AEW, Tony Khan, New Japan, look, we were talking about this, and we talk about this, I feel like almost a lot on the show. Will there ever be another era like the Attitude Era? I'm going to come out here now, and this can be probably an easy take, or it can be a hot take, however you want to take it. wrestling will never be the same again. It will never be the same again. AEW is not going to do it. They're not. Their ratings are not even staying flat. You know, if they're staying flat a little bit and then they go up, and then, you know, it's almost like when talks to crypto. Okay, I'm not a crypto guy, but you know, you've got to go up, you find a floor, go up. You can't be going up and then drop, you know, and you're watching the shows, and again, just you put on a coffin match and it just doesn't deliver. You got your diehards, your AEW diehards that are going to sit there and be like, oh, that was awesome. Thumbtacks in the coffin and Sting jumping off a balcony. I mean, listen to what I just said. Sting jumping off a balcony. Again. You have a damn legend jumping off a balcony to get a damn applause and get eyes on your product. I mean, at what point is enough enough? I don't need to see, 63-year-old Sting jumping off a damn balcony to get holy shit chants from guys that are half his damn age. It's just, you get that, and then you're going to get probably, let's see, last week, which was a great show, did $998. I guarantee you this one comes in at probably $970, $960, $970. It just, you might get a spot that spikes up a little bit because of the announcement that they teased. But I think at this point, the old Tony Khan announcements are running a little thin here. You can only scratch that card so many times to where it's like, oh, Tony Khan's got another announcement. Let's see what this one's going to be. A lot of this stuff is starting to get old. And I get it. Wrestling is that way. What is old gets new again. But AEW's been around for 3 years. Not even 3 years, maybe 2.5, 3 years, okay? Total. You can't have Tony Khan's special announcement whenever you think you need the ratings. Just like it used, Tony Khan with the special announcement, you know what that reminds me of? When Vince McMahon would see the ratings were going down, and what would he do? He would bring himself out. The chairman of the board, Vince McMahon, returns. Just to get eyes on the product, to create a little bit of buzz. That's what I'm starting to feel this damn Tony Khan special announcement is always. Tony Khan said 3 words during the goddamn special announcement. He introduced the New Japan president. Then Adam Cole took over. Then Jay White finished it up. And they were off the stage. The Tony Khan announcement was just a troll to get the fans there to tune in at that moment. You can only go to the well so many damn times. It becomes a crutch. And that's kind of where I feel AEW is right now. And I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and say I got the answers either, though. Because I think the talent in the ring and the product in the ring should have eyes going to it. But again, one of the things that Vince McMahon always says, and I'm starting to believe it, big guys sell. Because AEW's got probably the better talent in the ring, not production. But they can't flip it. Whereas WWE sits here with great talent in the ring as well, great production. And Raw did drop from a 1.8 to a 1.6, which is normal from coming off of WrestleMania. But they were normally doing 1.4, 1.5. So 1.6 is still higher than what they were at that floor. So when you look at it right now, WWE is staying flat. And that's not a bad thing right now. Problem with AEW is they're not staying even flat. They'll get the spike up, and then they'll spike down for 2 or 3 weeks. Then they'll spike up when they figure out they need to do something else. I mean, when you look at the card next week, you got a 10-man tag. You've got FTR fighting each other to get into the Owen Hart Battle Royal. You've got a ladder match, another damn gimmick match for free on TV. I mean, what else? I don't know what else they can do. Because at this point, they're throwing everything out there and just hoping to get to the 1 million mark, to get to the 1.0 mark. That's what they're hoping for right now. And so far, nothing's worked. And we'll see what happens there. C. John says, yeah, what you're saying about AEW holds true. Just can't get into AEW. Also says, I at least would have been switching to WWE during commercials, but A just doesn't appeal to me. It's one of those things. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know, because I like both of them. I'm not going to lie. I like the talent in the ring. I think AEW tries to pile too much into a show to where, look, WWE does the same thing. I get it, the vignettes and everything else. But if I've already seen a vignette, I get up and I leave, during the breaks. AEW does picture in picture during their matches. Then you got a vignette. You got like a minute, 2 minute, maybe commercial every other break. And then everything else is picture in picture. It becomes too much. And plus you're fitting 5 pounds of crap in a 10-pound bag. I think a lot of it has to do with WWE being the established, long-standing company. At least for me, it does. And look, it does do that. And the one thing that AEW basically, they didn't say this, but they were going to be the alternative of what WWE is, right? So if WWE is doing this, fans don't like it, well, then we'll do this. And guess what? The fans still aren't liking it. At least by ratings and, and look, some shows, their attendance is good. Don't get me wrong, AEW's. But there's some shows that attendance is not what it looks. There's been, and the same can go with WWE as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not jumping on AEW here. But they're just the numbers are not showing what I think AEW thought. Well, if we give them an alternative, and it's opposite of what it's everything that they don't, everything we're doing, everything they don't like, WWE, that WWE isn't doing. We're doing it over here. It's still not bringing eyeballs to the product. It's not. So ultimately, I don't know what Tony Khan's going to be able to do, but you can't keep going to these goddamn special announcements. I'm over it. It's a good announcement. You're teaming up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. You're doing a pay-per-view June 26th. I get that, but I mean that's something that you could have announced. If I feel like it was one of those things where you're like, we got to do something. Oh, Vince McMahon will book himself on a show. Oh, Tony Khan brings himself out for a big announcement. It's old. And maybe it's because I've seen it done so many times with Vince McMahon, and now Tony Khan's doing that. Not in a wrestling role, though. He's doing it in his role. But I just think it's gotten old. They've got to come up with a new formula. AEW needs to go back to the drawing board. When your first match, to me, the first match had more oomph, everything behind it than your main event had, you got to rethink this a little bit. You got to start rethinking this. Wardlow, MJF, that's one of your best things going right now. I think ultimately the way they're showing the handcuffs so much, I guarantee Hoyt jumps him, or Archer, sorry, Lance Archer jumps him while he's handcuffed and probably beats him down. They probably won't even do a match next week, and then it'll come back and it'll do another match. I like the fact they showed the handcuffs a lot tonight. I like the fact they did that. And then, now you feed them kind of to Archer with them handcuffed, have Archer attack him, beat him down with them still handcuffed to where he can't defend himself. But then when he can defend himself, again, you have that match there. I like what they're doing with the Wardlow MJF thing. I like the whole, a little much with the meeting him in the back and walking him to the ring and all that stuff. But I do like at least where I think this is going. And I know nothing, but if you're showing the handcuffs the way you are, I ultimately think, and then now you're throwing Archer in on the mix. Ultimately, I think you're going to see the old beat him down while he's still handcuffed come out. And again, Wardlow gets beat down. You leave him for dead, and then all of a sudden, here he comes. Because the man's over. And ultimately, it's going to be until he gets his hand on MJF, which, if you do it correctly, that should be at a pay-per-view, not free on TNT or TBS or any of these other channels. And also, TNT did Battle of the Belts this past weekend, 528,000. That was the audience. Rampage, the Adam Cole and Adam Page AEW heavyweight title match. Hold on a minute. Let me get that. That's the Battle of the Belts. Sorry. Where was okay, here we go. So SmackDown was 2.1. That was SmackDown. AKW beats yo. Rampage this week. Now remember, your main event was Adam Cole, Adam Page, AEW heavyweight championship match, Texas Deathmatch rules. 482. 482. I'm telling you, it's AEW is starting to, it's not working. They need to, figure out what the recipe is, go back to a different recipe. But what they're doing right now, when you have a Texas death match with your heavyweight champion and you only get 482, time to rethink. And I think those numbers were from Friday. I think that's set in motion this whole thing with New Japan Pro Wrestling that you saw today. I think what they're hoping is you'll get the eyes from the New Japan fans. You'll get the Bullet Club. You'll get the Undisputed Elite. You'll have all that mixed into one, and you team them up, and you'll get some eyes on the things. I don't know where AKW Beat says miss you CM Punk. He should be champion right now. But again, if you would have put the belt on him, we would have been complaining that they fed him through to be the champion too quick. It's a double-edged sword for the company. I mean, let's call it what it is. I think you had to bring him in and you had to build him up. Now, ultimately, I think, he's going to end up getting the belt. But if you would have brought him in and just had him beat your champion, the whole storyline for the 3 years leading up, remember this now, the whole storyline with Adam Page getting the belt was started when AEW first started. Chris Jericho beat Hangman Adam Page in the tournament to crown the first AEW champion. He missed out strike one. Right? Then he went into the tag team with Kenny Omega. At that time, Omega and Moxley and everybody was fighting. Then he went into the tag team. Then they end up losing the tag team belts. Omega leaves him. Omega becomes the champion, shows him that he can do it without him. He can't win the title. He can't win the big ones. Omega wins the heavyweight title. That was the second time. Then they went around and he fought and he fought and he fought and he finally got Omega in the match and he beat Omega. For 2.5 years, he chased Omega and the championship. You can't just sign a CM Punk, bring him in and put the title on him, because then you've just sealed your storylines going forward, because none of them mean crap. And also, you're going to show the talent that they don't mean crap. Because again, remember, Tony Khan had the first 4 AEW heavyweight champions picked out when he originally set in place AEW. It was going to be Jericho to Moxley to Omega to Hangman Adam Page. Those were his 4 champions to lead the heavyweight division. In that order. And all the storylines were built around that. Getting Hangman Adam Page to be your 4th heavyweight champion. Now you sign the big guy and CM Punk, you bring him in and you job out Page. What does that tell you about the last 2.5 years? The storyline. that is the one thing AEW does well. They do the storylining pretty damn well to me. Again, I like both products. I just think right now AEW is at a, and I don't mean this in any, no pun intended, at a crossroads right now of what is next. Yes, Daniel Bryan got the title shot, but he also lost to Hangman Adam Page to build Page up. CM Punk is not doing the job for Adam Page. Bryan Danielson did. Bryan Danielson came in, got the title shot, but did it to build up Hangman Adam Page. If you put CM Punk in that same situation, CM Punk has to beat Hangman Adam Page. Two different scenarios. Daniel Bryan elevated him. If you were to put CM Punk in that position right away, I think you ultimately bring down everything about Hangman Adam Page. Because Daniel Bryan built the credibility, to me, of Hangman Adam Page. Watching those two go at it in those matches, and then the stuff he's done with Adam Cole here recently, it's built him up a little bit more as a champion. Now, ultimately, I think with the way it's going right now, CM Punk will end up getting the title. And I think it's done enough now. Hangman Adam Page has had it long enough to kind of, give credence to the fact that he chased the title for 2.5 years. So now he has had the title. He's defended it very well. Now, if he loses to CM Punk, there's no, luster rubbed off of Hangman Adam Page. But I think if you would have brought CM Punk in right away and had him job Page out, I think you just kill everything for the heavyweight title. And plus, you would have rolled the title over too much. Do you think that there's just too much wrestling on now? People are choosing one company over the other. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't wrestling on every night of the week except Thursday? It is, but I mean, most of it's WWE. WWE's Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I mean, when you look at it, AEW's only got 2 hours of TV, and then Rampage is 1 hour on Friday. WWE's got 7 hours. So, I don't think it's choosing one. I think what you do is you have your diehard fans that just hate WWE, and whatever WWE puts out doesn't matter. And you got the same way WWE fans, whatever they put out, everybody's going to love it. You have your diehard fans that go either way, that way, I don't know if there's too much wrestling on TV. I just think that when you make it interesting and entertaining, it's just like, I can't use sports because sports is live, so everything changes. But you have your favorite shows that you'll watch, right? Every week, you'll watch those shows. They're entertaining, right? They change them up a little bit. They throw a couple curveballs in there. They leave you thinking on some things. And I think now wrestling's got to a point to where instead of building up storylines and stories to go, a couple months to get to a pay-per-view, you'll have a lot of stuff that'll end within a week or two on TV. And I think that takes away from the product and the story build. It's not just the main events I'm talking about. When I say the storylines, it's all the matches that you ultimately want to see at a pay-per-view. You've got to build them up. They've got to play out some. If you're just ending everything every week and it ends and it stops and it's a new show and it's a new show and a new show, that gets boring. That'll get tedious. You have to leave a little bit of imagination to, I think almost in a way, I think they've dumbed it down so much that it's almost insulting to some wrestling fans. They try to say, here, this we're ending this now. This is over now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just almost feels like they're just like, no cliffhanger, no like, hey, let's see what happened there. Why? Let's come back next week and see what happened. There's none of that anymore. It's just A beats B and done. I was watching today. There was an AEW Rock in Wrestling 86. I think it was AWA. And I didn't realize, but it was in between when Wyndham and Rotunda, before I think they went to WWE, they fought the Fabulous Ones in a match. And they built it up a little bit, and they told a little story when they did the promos against each other. Then they went out there, they told a great match. They had a great story during the match. And it ended with it was just amazing to me. It was a roll up. The Fabulous Ones had Rotunda rolled up. Wyndham came off with an elbow to the back of the neck, rolled Rotunda out, got the pinfall. And the whole time, Wyndham and Rotunda were telling the Fabulous Ones, we're going to win because we're smarter than you. We're going to outsmart you. And ultimately, the story played out. Those things like that. And again, the match went for 15 minutes. It was a great match. If you got a chance, check it out. I believe it's AWA Rock in Wrestling 86. But those, when you're telling stories, and it's not just, look, you used to have WWE superstars. Those were your squash matches every week. You bring out the big boss man, he takes on Barry Horowitz. I know the big boss man's winning. You put this person, Kurt Hennig comes out, and he takes on, Sean Allen, and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect's going over. Those shows, I think, almost in a way, they need to come back to start, I guess, allowing talent to build themselves up. Because right now, the one thing that I don't like about WWE, and I know I'm jumping around here, but is every week I saw Cesaro lose. Then all of a sudden he wins, and you expect me to think that he's so much better than everybody else. Carlos V, you may be right. It may have been right after. Yeah, they were the tag team champs in 80. I was thinking Mania was, I don't know, man. I was thinking, you're right. They were in WrestleMania 1. They lost to Sheik and Volkov. So, yeah, I guess it was right after 86. You're right. Yep. Carlos V, thank you there, buddy. But when you look at it and you need to bring back some of the squash matches and quit making your superstars be your guys that you feed to get beat, because I've watched a guy get beat for 9 weeks in a row. There's no damn way I'm going to believe that he's in title contention just because all of a sudden now what'd he do? He drank a damn Gatorade? What is he on? It's like the whole thing with, they fed Nakamura out to Roman Reigns. Haven't seen where the hell this is going to lead yet. But nothing right now tells me Nakamura is in the same stratosphere as Reigns. You've got to start. And I like what AEW does with some of the, like with the Owen Hart, the women tournament. You have the one name and then, a development, not developmental, but an indie star that they're taking on. So you kind of know who's going to advance when you look at it. I think ultimately they're setting up maybe for some type of swerve. Maybe somebody will come in that you don't know and realize and win one of these, because there's always that time where they set it up to where somebody you think's going in and then they swerve you at the last minute. But I think you need more of those matches on. I'm not saying, like for instance, tonight, the Butcher against Wardlow. Did you really think Butcher? They tried to build up Butcher as a big competitor for Wardlow. What are you talking about? I watched him get his ass whooped 3 weeks in a row by Matt and Jeff Hardy. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff like that is just, it leaves you in disbelief in a way. It's like the one thing I don't like about wrestling, sometimes they insult intelligence. They insult your intelligence. They try to dumb it down so much that it's like, dude, I watch it because I like the storylines. Make me think. Like the times I love are the times where I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that was going to happen. Where the hell did that come from? I think you need more of that. And I get it. In the social media world right now, there's not a lot you can do with surprises and things like that. But there are times where you can think something's heading one way, and you just turn it a little bit, now it's going that way. You can still do that. I think the AEW needs to take a look at what they got going right now with their recipes and maybe start turning a couple things, or maybe take it to the right a little bit, or to the left. Because right now, I said before, they don't have enough TV for all the stars. And when they have the stars on, they're still not drawing. I don't know what the hell you're going to do. I really don't. Let's see here. Look at Bianca versus Becky. That loss did not hurt Bianca at all. No. But again, they did the surprise, right? Becky came out and surprised her and then shook the hand and then actually, kind of caught her off guard, Bianca. That was, again, a good story where, yeah, she beat Bianca, but she beat her because Bianca wasn't prepared. Bianca had time to prepare. And then ultimately, I honestly thought at Mania, Becky was going to keep the title by cheating or something. And then, Bianca was going to put her ponytail on the line to get another title match at WrestleMania Backlash. I never thought that Becky would lose clean to Bianca at WrestleMania, especially with the way they did the hair the Monday before. I thought, look, Bianca deserves it. Bianca's a hell of a talent. I just thought you could have extended it that way with the way you built up that Monday Night Raw. Becky coming in to cut her hair. Bianca gets out. Bianca ends up cutting her hair. You had a great story to tell where somehow, Becky cheats her at WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania Backlash, you get Bianca versus Becky. Hey, you never know. You might still get that. But we'll see. But again, that loss did not hurt Bianca at all. No, you're right. Let's see. Carlos, you already. Yep. Steve Chan says, you're speaking my language. I'd love the jobber matches to come back, build up these guys up first. Yeah. And honestly, you have a feeder system to jobber guys because you have the Nightmare Factory with QT Marshall. You have all those guys that the guys that are getting trained, if they know enough to where they can protect themselves and you're going to be putting them in with guys that, can protect them and take care of them. All they got to be able to do is bump for these guys. And also you'll keep the matches a little bit more simpler. I think now a lot of the AEW issues too come from, they look clumsy in the ring because they're doing all these high risk moves and sometimes they're not paying off right. For instance, at the Rampage, Sammy Guevara went to do his finisher. It slipped off. He kind of slipped off the top rope, and they had to kind of, figure something out on the fly there, And then also on the apron, the same thing happened. He went to do a move on Sammy. Sammy's feet hit the top rope and came down on his neck. Sometimes let's keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. You're trying to do pay-per-view matches because you feel like, you need to get eyes on your product. And I think sometimes they're overdoing it. And I'll tell you right now, I'll talk out of both sides of my mouth on this because sometimes WWE keeps it too damn simple. That's my one thing that I have an issue with WWE. Sometimes they keep the matches too damn simple. And then plus they give you the same damn matches over and over. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I love both products. I like what AEW's got its good stuff and its bad stuff. WWE has its good stuff and its bad stuff. I'm going to call them out when it's good, and I'm going to call them out when it's bad. I'm going to talk good about it when it's good, in my opinion. But then also you have your opinion. That's why we have the chats there, and then you can throw out your opinion. Something that I think is terrible, you may have loved. That Darby Allin match against Andrade El Idolo, I thought was hot garbage tonight. What the hell do you got a coffin with thumbtacks in the freaking in the lid? What the hell is going on here? To set up for what? Andrade's manager to hit you and go to power bomb you through and you flip him so he hits the thumbtacks? For what? There's just too much stuff going on, man. I love Sting, but he's starting to become that guy. He's really starting to become that guy, man. It's like, look, dude, I get it. You're 63 years old. You're going to climb every balcony now and jump off? I know what you can do in the ring. Do Sting, man. I don't need you to be doing what these damn 20 and 30-year-old guys are doing. Show me Sting. I want to watch one of these damn nights and a freaking guy doesn't catch you and a 63-year-old man falls right straight to his head or something. I just think, man, enough is enough. You're 63 years old. AKW Beat says, laugh out loud it was, yeah. Oh, Carlos, I missed this. A must watch is the Wrestle Rock Rumble music video promoting the event. Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel rapping. I'm about to catch that out, right? Because Vern took on Sheik Adnan Casey, right? In a cage match, I believe. I saw some of the other card. They divided up into two parts. And I haven't seen the other one. And then it was, I think Bruiser Brody was in a cage match also. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see the whole card there, but it's one of those things. I love those old stuff, man. I love the old school wrestling. I love the 106 North Albany, which is Championship Wrestling from Florida. They always send out an episode every week or so. And man, they showed out one of Kendall Windham today, just bringing back old memories. Steve Chapman said they did that a little last week. Veer beat the hell out of Dominic. That was great. Let's see what he does against a top wrestler, but NXT is a great idea for jobbers. The one thing though, the question, I mean, I don't want to use, or you mean the NXT guys? There's other guys training at NXT that I could see as the jobbers. I don't want to see the guys that are in NXT used as jobbers. The guys that they're pushing in NXT, if that's what you mean, Steve. So correct me if I'm wrong here. I want the NXT guys that they're being pushed to stay at the top there. But there's other guys that are training below them that might be a little bit behind. I would love to see them get brought up or flew in and let them be some of the enhancement talent that that they do the jobs for. I don't have to see main event after main event or mid card after mid card, man. That's what used to make Clash of the Champions. Your Saturday night main events. Those were so good because I didn't have to see it over and over and over and over and over. It wasn't saturated. You got to see your Saturday superstars, even on Tuesday Night Titans. It was still, they show matches from the Forum or Madison Square Garden, where they'll show little clips of highlights of matches, and they'll come back in. They'll talk about it a little bit. They'll have some wrestlers on. Things like that I enjoyed because it built up to the Saturday night main events, your pay-per-views, all of that, because they went into the storytelling of all the matches. Though that's, and then maybe that's what's missing. Maybe it's the fact that they don't use the jobbers anymore. They don't have your, as Carl's saying, your Barry Horowitz, your Brooklyn Brawler, your Iron Mike Sharp. Those guys, you start seeing, it's so funny too, man, because when you watch them, when you're growing up and you're younger, you're always like, man, this guy never wins. This guy's a loser. Those losers make these guys what they are. And you start understanding and respecting what they do and how much they really help these guys and elevated those guys in their careers. And maybe that's what's missing. Maybe it's the fact that there's too many, you have your, let's see, like, for instance, tonight, let's see, who do we have tonight? I don't know. Tonight was, you had CM Punk, Dustin Rhodes. Okay. I think you can have those type of matches. That's not there. I don't want to keep seeing and see, the thing is, like, to me, Darby Allin, I like Andrade El Idolo, but I don't think that they're up on that echelon, like, I don't want to see Adam Cole take on, Hangman Adam Page. I don't want to see Adam Cole against CM Punk. I don't want to see Moxley against, Adam Cole or any of those like that. That stuff I want to watch on a hyped up event that you've made me feel like I have to watch this. I'm going to tune in on Wednesday anyways, no matter what you throw out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to tune in on Mondays, no matter what you throw out there. So I think maybe that might be some of the problem with what we're getting is that you're seeing, you know, and especially with WWE, because they do the same damn matches over and over and over again. When you could just throw some little jobbers out there, build it up. You could still have some guys come out and attack somebody or go face to face with somebody so you can keep the storylines going. And that's the other thing is they don't always have to hit each other. They don't always have, you can talk a little crap. You can turn around. You can leave. You can build up without having to beat each other up. Steve, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this to you. The Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, I was all aboard that until they started doing the damn attacking each other for like 3 straight weeks. Then I was off because I'm like, what the hell are they going to do at WrestleMania? They just put each other through cars. They beat the crap out of each other. What the hell am I going to see? I'm just going to see the same thing inside the ropes. They lost me. Then they did the promo right before WrestleMania, and I was like, all right. Brought me back a little bit because they didn't let Ronda talk. It was all Charlotte. But again, it's building stories. It's building. I've already seen all these guys fight each other. And that might be, we may have just solved some of the issues of wrestling. We've seen almost everything. What else are they going to do? What other matches can they throw on? I mean, hell, AEW next week. You know what they're doing in the Owen Hart men's side of the tournament? I guess they can't find enough people. So they're putting Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood against each other to see who will advance to the Owen Hart. They're having FTR fight each other to see which one will advance to the Owen Hart tournament. Because, hey, you know, we're running out of people for you guys to wrestle. So let's wrestle each other. That's the crap. Yes, the lesser guys trying to make their way up the ranks. Yeah, okay, perfect. Steve couldn't agree more. No, man. I mean, again, man, it's maybe we have solved some of the problems that we have right now with the wrestling world. Hopefully TK and VKM are listening, or they'll listen to this later. And maybe we've taken some steps. Maybe we need more jobbers. We need to bring back the job squad. We need to bring back the enhancement talent. Build up some of these guys and then make them mean something, and then have some big ass events. I don't need to watch it every week on Raw. I don't need to watch it every week on SmackDown. I don't need to see it every week on Dynamite. Make the matches mean something. Build some of these guys up. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back Friday night. Yes, Friday night, 10 o'clock. I want to thank Steve, Carlos, AKW Beats, and everybody on the chat. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody and gals. They're tuned in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We will. Oh, hold on a minute. Something coming in. Think of the heat that would have been generated if Veer had waited for Dominic to be loaded on the stretcher, only to have Veer kick the stretcher. You know, honestly, I think I thought that was going to happen. That's an old WWE move that they used to do, just attack the guys in the stretcher and as they're rolling them out. And I was surprised. I was honestly more surprised that they didn't do it. And I think it added a little bit to it. And this week, he did beat an enhancement talent, and they showed him stretching the enhancement talent to the ambulance. So it's becoming a thing for Veer. So again, tonight, thank you guys so much. Appreciate all you tuned in. Hit that like button, subscribe button. We'll be back here Friday, 10 o'clock. Make sure you let everybody know, wrestling fans, this is our show to talk pro wrestling, talk AEW, WWE, whatever you want to talk, ROH, Impact, NWA, whatever. This is our show to talk wrestling. Until Friday, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.